So for this change initiative project, I've decided to look at the alternative family models and community support, which I'll show you my long abbreviated one. This is just for my title slide. So my initiatives, why I wanted to do the inclusivity, was to see if I can find a happier environment for students of alternative family models, and I wanted to get a deeper understanding of the hardships due to that me being somebody in the human service field, post-Moravian. I wanted to look at those hardships. My objectives were to look at the viewpoints of each situation and to look at like community and how to build that sense of community. So here's my long not abbreviated title. Inclusion of alternative family models at community organizations. So I wanted to look, so the alternative family models that I looked at were single parents. I wanted to look at both the mom and the dad side. The mom side, I saw a very strong, unequal balance of work and family life. I also saw that part of the family unit that was missing was that quality bonding time, because the mom felt like she has to work all the time, and trying to put the kid off to doing his own thing, and emotional needs going unmet. That was in a lot of cases they didn't meet. They didn't see him. They put everything else priority and put their kind of mental health to a back burner per se. And if they took days off, they were worried about losing their job or the risk of penalization. Single dads had the same concerns. They felt like society told them from when they grew up that they had to be the money makers. They had to go out and make the money to support the family. So that ideology kind of does harm than good right now, at least in these situations, because the dad wants to spend more time with his kids, but society's telling him to go out and make more money. So that's a very heavy thing. I wanted to look at teen moms and look at their hardships. So I looked at the 3 top ones that kind of interlink with each other. The first being education, and it being the pros and cons of being a teen mom. But if you're teaching to teen moms to talk about the resources that are available to them from them being in that situation, along with teaching about what's available, the support that they feel that they need to be successful in the community, would be mental health support and financial support and community resources, like what nonprofits can help alleviate some of the stress and tension that come with being a teen mom. And government assistance, you have SNAP, which is Supplemental Nutrition Act Assistance Program, and WIC, which is Women, Infants, and Children. And then one that I saw, because there wasn't a lot of resources about alternative family models, so one I saw was the low-income families, and that they need support, emotional, counseling, whatever, financial, which we'll talk about in a second, funding, not a lot of government like some government funding goes for low-income families, but then again you have that population that can abuse those resources that are meant for somebody else, and I'm not saying everybody does that, but there is a small population that does, and those fundings being SNAP, which I mentioned in the Teen Mom section, which is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and WIC. Another need is flexible work schedules. They want to be able to take time to care for their children, and don't want to be pressured to send their kids somewhere when they are not feeling good. Advantages and disadvantages. So advantages are more resources will be used, which is a good thing, and families feel awareness of these families increases, and children are feeling a part of their community rather than distant. Disadvantages are bias, taking your own thoughts about these families and saying them aloud, and they could be hurtful. differential treatment, like if one person gets more resources than another, they could get mad about that. And then resources not being able to meet the needs and demands of those families. Okay, so additional information about what I found to make it more, because it was a lot of negative, to make it more inclusive were after-school programmings to help parents with their work-life balance. Children get extra support, and it connects the children with a community volunteer. Work-life balance, a challenge, most often a challenge for parents, but if education and support is built around the work-life balance, it will be more happier income, happier situation, which leads to mental health and other things, community acceptance, all that. And then resources for families, you have food pantries, which help with food insecurity. You have CSCs, which are community school coordinators. You have nonprofits and counseling, doctors, and whatever, etc. So a thought-provoking question I have for you is, how inclusive are you to these families? Do you judge them for who they are, or do you accept them for who they are? That's just a quick little thought question. I know it's deep, but this one is. Organizations that are accepting are the United Way, and most schools are accepting. And other organizations, those are just the top two that I know. And then if you have any questions, you are free to contact me at rogersh@moravian.edu. If you have any questions, I'm open to anything. This is something I am passionate about, so if you do have questions, please email me. Hope you enjoyed.